Just when you think you've seen all the worst calls in NFL history, the refs make new ones to outdo themselves. You simply won't believe the awful stamp that referees are putting on the game, even ending careers.
They're ruining the game!
And it's crazy to think some refs are affecting games when the game isn't even going on. But just wait for the worst of it. In the biggest moments, refs are deciding legacies. This is the gridiron. 5. Orlando Brown. The Cleveland Browns can never catch a break. This time it came at the hands, or the face, of Orlando Brown, because this will go down as the most unfortunate call in NFL history. Not that it was bad, it was just the way the call was carried out. On a routine play, the ref threw the flag, but he chucked it right at Brown. The flag flew through his face mask and hit him in the eye. Now, in order for these flags to be weighted, they needed something inside of them. They used to have metal BBs inside them. That was what smacked Brown in the eye. He was forced to sit out a play due to the injury. When he tried to come back in, Brown's eye was swelling and the ref wouldn't let him back in. Brown was heated and shoved the ref. This got him ejected from the game. But he had to go to the hospital anyway. He had severe bleeding in his eye and was declared legally blind in that eye. Brown missed 3 seasons due to the injury, and it changed his entire career. Flags are now weighted with sand instead, but the change was too late. The call that ended a player's career already happened. 4. Thanksgiving. It's a tradition that we all love, Thanksgiving football, and the Detroit Lions always play. Lions were 4-7 coming into that game, but the Steelers were 7-4. That's right in line for playoff contention, division contention, and high seeding. This game was obviously extremely important. So when the score was tied 16-16 and the regulation ended, we were headed for overtime. The teams came out to midfield for the coin toss. Referee Phil Luckett had the coin and asked Jerome Bettis to call it in the air. As you could see, the process already wasn't a great one.
Call it plays in the air. Heads is the call.
Bettis insisted that he called tails, but the ref was defiant. With all of this happening, the coin landed on tails. But because the ref heard wrong, he allowed the Lions instead to choose if they would receive or not. Obviously, they chose to receive. The Steelers were livid. This was also way before the new overtime rules we have now. The Lions, knowing the importance of getting the first possession in overtime, marched down the field, kicked a field goal, and won the game 19-16. All because the ref heard wrong. A new rule had to be instituted after that debacle. It had to be made clear what the team captain called during a coin toss before the coin was flipped. It was a good rule change, where a ref screw-up benefited the Lions. But the refs haven't always been kind to Detroit. 3. The 2 points. At the end of the 2022 season, the Detroit Lions showed flashes of brilliance, which carried over into the 2023 season. The game was so crucial for the seeding. The Cowboys had the Lions' number most of the night, but the Lions got a chance for one more drive. They moved down the field methodically, bit by bit, and scored a touchdown. With limited time left on the clock, the Lions were down by 1. They could kick the extra point to go into overtime, but that was not Dan Campbell's style. He drew up a play for the 2-point conversion. Detroit hiked the ball, the play unfolded, and a lineman, Taylor Decker, leaked out unnoticed. In going back and watching the footage just before the play, you can see Decker go out to the ref. As Troy Aikman said on the broadcast, a lineman wouldn't go out there to talk to the ref unless he was reporting. He probably wasn't asking if the ref saw any good movies lately. Clearly, he reported to the ref. The ref just, I don't know, didn't see it? Dan Campbell even said in the post-game interview that he discussed this play with the refs during pre-game warm-ups. In the end, the flag never should have happened. It was the most bogus call the NFL had seen in a while. The Lions ended up not being able to punch it in for a 2-point conversion afterward, and the Cowboys escaped with a victory that wasn't theirs to begin with. 2. Harbaugh Bowl. It was Super Bowl 47, also known as the Harbaugh Bowl. The Ravens were facing the Niners, 2 hard-nosed squads led by their hard-nosed coaches who are also brothers. In the second quarter, with around 7 minutes to go, the Niners had the ball down 14-3. Kaepernick dropped back and threw a deep pass, but it was intercepted by Ed Reed. After his return, there was a lot of extracurricular activity on the field. A whole fight was breaking out. Ravens cornerback Carrie Williams got his helmet torn off and he was livid. As he got up, he shoved a ref out of his way. Now, a lot of flags flew on this play, but none were for Williams shoving the ref. There were offsetting penalties by both teams which negated each other, but no mention of Carrie Williams pushing a ref. No flag, no ejection, no fine. What? Consider this. Earlier in the same year, Cam Newton got fined $21,000 for giving a ref a little shove. Just a couple of years earlier, Justin Smith got ejected from a game for pushing a ref, and it was not nearly as blatant as what Williams did. So then why the disregard for pushing the referee on the biggest stage? A penalty that would have hurt the Ravens. An ejection that would have hurt the Ravens. Instead, the Ravens went on to win that Super Bowl. Things might have been different if the refs made that call that they consistently make. 1. Dan Sorenson. Though the Lions' penalty was bad and screwed up seeding in the NFC, and though the Ravens' lack of a penalty and ejection was on the biggest stage and could have changed the outcome of the Super Bowl, this next one might be the worst for many reasons. It was the 2021 divisional round of the playoffs, so the stakes were high. The Browns were facing off against the Chiefs. The Chiefs were up 16-3 with 1:42 left in the first half, but the Browns were threatening to score. If you're the refs, you have to be watching an illegal hit that should have washed away the fumble. Only it didn't, because the refs never called it. They let the play stand and awarded the Chiefs the ball. A play that should have resulted in an inevitable touchdown if not for a dirty hit, instead was ripped from Cleveland's hands and placed in the palms of Kansas City. A huge swing for both the score and the momentum. What's worse? Cleveland only lost that game 17-22. You don't think that touchdown right there would have made a massive difference? We could have seen a deeper playoff run for the Browns, and Baker's success in Cleveland could have been much different. But as we mentioned earlier, the Cleveland Browns could never catch a break. Meanwhile, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys, America's team, got out of these situations unscathed and in excellent condition. Makes you wonder if the refs are missing calls by accident or on purpose.